Tears of the Kingdom. After 2 weeks of non-stop playing this game, I have decided there are some things that I don't have an answer for. There are certain questions that I would like to be answered. So now we're gonna go into the theories. The theories that have been forming in my head. Also in my community said, I did ask my community on what they thought of the game. And some of them had some really neat responses. Others, we'll get to the others. So let's go over the first theory. For some reason, people think Ganon is the good guy, that he's the hero. One of them writes, Ganon is actually the good guy. He was inspired by the Triforce. He provides jobs for the people and is the king of Hyrule. Link just wants Ganon's fame, power, and fortune. No? What? That's not it. Link's the hero. Ganon's the bad guy. Link has never did one bad thing ever. Ever. Maybe he had a point. Maybe. All right, next theory. Breeding habits of Octoroks. What? That's not a theory. That's not a theory. What the hell is this? Are you guys gonna take this serious? I asked for theories. I asked for theories. All right. Next one. Ganondorf can get it. Am I right? He can surely get some. All right, next one. My theory is that Tears of the Kingdom is not part of the mainline Zelda timeline, but instead the start of a different timeline. Tears of the Kingdom is actually a prequel to the CDI Zelda games, hence the voice acting.
Gee, it sure is boring around here.
My boy, this piece is what all true warriors strive for.
I just wonder what Ganon's up to.
Do we have any serious theories? Any? Please, one of them be serious. All right, next theory, and hopefully this one isn't, like the other ones. Okay. Tears of the Kingdom is a prequel to Skyward Sword. Dark Beast Ganon / Ganondorf is becoming demised. As we time lock Ganon and work our way into the sky, we start Skyloft. Zelda timeline is actually a loop. We return to zero. I like that idea, but I don't think that's what they're going for. I could poke holes in it, but I do like the idea of this theory, that this is all a prequel to Skyward Sword and we're actually like the whole imprisoning war that happened and everything else that happened in Tears of the Kingdom, where it was the battles we had with Demise, but I don't think this is accurate. So I'm going to move on to the next one. This one says, the series timeline is circular in nature, thus why the Ouroboros, snake eating its own tail, is present in the logo and in other places in the game. When the Demon King Demise cursed Link, Zelda, and himself to reincarnate throughout time at the end of Skyward Sword, he doomed the Zelda universe to eternal death and rebirth. The timeline isn't straight from beginning to end. The events of each game happen in past incarnations of the universe, and thus have been passed down in legend each time. I genuinely like this theory. I like this theory, and I think they might be going for this. I mean, we could never know for sure, but I genuinely like this theory, and I would like to know your guys' opinions on it, and just post it in the comments what you guys think about this one. I genuinely like this one. Okay, and the next theory is, I think that after the Hero of Time and the Hero of the Seas both defeat Ganon, and the heroes after that in the timeline finish their quest, the timelines converge, which is how the Zora and Rito coexist. And the reason the Rito look different from Wind Waker is from evolution after moving to the Hebra region. I think this is an interesting theory. However, I would swap out the Hero of Time with either the Twilight Hero, or more accurately, probably the Hero of the Four Swords Adventures, because those are the games that come right after it. And also, I can see maybe the Wind Waker timeline converging in right after Spirit Tracks. But I would even argue that the Decline timeline can even converge, and it might even go into the theory that people have been speculating about called the Unified timeline, which is a video all on its own. I want to talk about that. However, I have another theory for Tears of the Kingdom that I want to cover, and it might take up all this video's time. Full disclosure, we're probably going to be spoiling story stuff in Tears of the Kingdom. So if you haven't beaten the game yet, or you're still looking to watch or play the game yourself, please skip to the end of the video. I don't want to spoil anyone. My theory, or even speculation, whatever you prefer to call it, is that Tears of the Kingdom has a lot in common with Ocarina of Time. So much so, it's hard not to see it. Let me explain. In Tears of the Kingdom, there are 7 sages. There's Yunobo, Sidon, Riju, Tulin, Mineru, Roru, and Zelda. You can also argue that Sonia is also a sage, but she died. Later on in the game, you find out that she died, and basically Zelda was the only one with the stone. Ganondorf takes the stone from her. In Ocarina of Time, we also have 7 sages. We have Roru, the Sage of Light, Saria, the Sage of the Forest, Darunia, Sage of Fire, Rudo, the Sage of Water, Impa, the Sage of Shadow, Naburu, Sage of Spirit, and Zelda, the 7th Sage, or the leader of the sages. And now going back to Tears of the Kingdom, we get something that's very similar to medallions from Ocarina of Time that the sages would have given to us after completing their respective dungeons. Instead, in Tears of the Kingdom, we get vows instead of medallions, and they just remind me of Ocarina of Time medallions. I mean, at least to me. You could tell me otherwise and be like, no, this is different. I think this looks way different, but to me, it really does remind me of Ocarina of Time. I would even argue that Nintendo is using what they ditched back in 1997 with Ocarina of Time. Back in Ocarina of Time, they wanted to use the medallions that you got as abilities. And funny enough, in Tears of the Kingdom, we can, essentially. In an interview, Miyamoto has stated that he wanted to use the 6 medallions you get in Ocarina of Time for abilities, and even mix and match them and use them with arrows and stuff like that. That would have blew my mind if I was able to do that, but we kind of got it in Tears of the Kingdom. Not to that same effect, but pretty dang close. You want more comparisons? Well, I got them. Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom, when he's swearing fealty to the king, King Roru, he's almost doing it in the same exact fashion the other Ganondorf in Ocarina of Time did. It's very similar. Now, it leaves me with speculation. Does this have to do with something more to Ocarina of Time? Does Tears of the Kingdom have more to do with Ocarina of Time than we would have thought? Or is this just Nintendo's way of giving a nice Easter egg to us old school gamers who played Ocarina of Time back in the day? There's probably even more comparisons to Ocarina of Time. Like, there's also even Lon Lon Ranch that was like you can go to in Breath of the Wild. But I have so much more to explore in this game. I have 105 hours and I still feel like I barely scratched the surface. But what do you guys think? Tell me if you liked the theories. Tell me if they were stupid, or, you know, let me know. You definitely let me know in the last video that I made a mistake with the adult timeline. I'm very sorry. That won't happen again. Well, I'll try not to do that again. But like, comment, subscribe, and also follow my Twitch. I stream there all the time. I'm currently doing ridiculous challenge runs. And I'll see you in the next one.